morning, children. Let us begin with Standard 5 English, Unit 7 poem Topsy Turvy Land. So let us start the reading of the introduction. Have you ever thrown your school bags on your beds? Have you ever left your shoes and socks here and there? Have you ever played with your ball in your room? Does your room sometimes look like this? So now let us read about a poem which shows the upside down land. So let's begin. The people walk upon their heads. The sea is made of sand. The children go to school by night in topsy-turvy land. The front door step is at the back. You're walking when you stand. You wear your hat upon your feet in topsy-turvy land. And buses on the sea you'll meet, while pleasure boats are planned to travel up and down the streets of topsy-turvy land. You pay for what you never get. I think it must be grand, for when you go, you're coming back in topsy-turvy land. This poem is written by H.E. Wilkinson. Now let us learn the new words and their meanings. So your first word is topsy-turvy. The meaning of it is upside down. Second, pleasure, feeling of enjoyment. Third, grand, means big. And here in the poem, this grand means great fun. So you can write big, which is right. Now answer the following. Your first question is, when do children go to school in topsy-turvy land? Your answer is, the children go to school by night in topsy-turvy land. I repeat, the children go to school by night in topsy-turvy land. Your question 2 is, in the poem, if buses travel on the sea, then where do boats travel? How should it rightly be? So your answer is, in the poem, boats travel in the street. It should actually sail on the sea and buses should run on roads. I repeat, in the poem, boats travel in the streets. It should actually sail on the sea and buses should run on roads. Your third question is, the topsy-turvy land is very different from our land. Let's draw a comparison by filling in sentences wherever needed. So here you can see there is a table. On one side it is written that what was done in the topsy-turvy land and actually what happens on our land. So your first one is, people walk on their heads in the topsy-turvy land according to the poem. But on our land, people walk on their feet. The second one, in the poem, the buses run on the sea. But on land, the buses run on road. The third one is, according to the poem, they wear their hats on feet. But on land, they wear their hats on the head. The fourth one, according to the poem, in the topsy-turvy land, boats sail in the street. But actually on land, the boats sail in the sea, not streets. Fifth, people pay for what they don't get. But actually on land, people pay for what they get, whatever they get something for, whatever they buy. So we have to pay. So this is the difference in the poem and on the actual land. A few of your textual exercises, the words in the sentences are jumbled here. So we need to rearrange them to make a meaningful sentence. Words that begin with a capital letter are first words of the sentence. So in the jumbled sentence, the words which begin with a capital letter, they are the beginning of the sentence. So let's begin. The first one is Renu naughty is a girl. So these are jumbled. So the correct meaningful sentence will be Renu is a naughty girl. Second one, untidy room, her always is. So your correct sensible sentence will be her room is always untidy. The third one, mother, her advises her clean to it. So your sensible sentence is her mother advises her to clean it. Fourth one, never listens she her mother to. So your sentence will be she never listens to her mother. Fifth one, kind of what child you are. This is a question sentence. So you begin with what? What kind of a child are you? Your verb comes first and then your subject. So this is a question sentence. You end it with a question mark. Now we need to write 5 things that you do at home to make your home look neat and clean. So the 5 sentences are, I clean my room daily. Second, I keep my things in place. Third, I help my mother in the kitchen. Fourth, I water the garden. And fifth, I also mop the floor. Mop the floor means you clean it with water. Pocha lagana. Okay, so by doing these things, you can keep your home neat and clean. So you can do this exercise in your textbook itself. So I repeat, the first one is, I clean up my room daily. Second, I keep my things in place. Third, I help my mother in the kitchen. Fourth, I water the garden. Fifth, I also mop the floor. Now let's imagine a topsy-turvy scene and describe it in the lines given here. So we just have to imagine about some upside down land and we need to write. So let's write, one day I got up early in the morning, came out and saw the birds were walking, animals were flying, trees were laying on the ground, and my pet dog Tommy was calling me to play. Suddenly, I got up. Oh, it was a dream. So this was a dream where you imagined a topsy-turvy land. So I repeat, one day I got up early in the morning, came out and saw the birds were walking, animals were flying, trees were lying on the ground, and my pet dog Tommy was calling me to play. Suddenly I got up. Oh, it was a dream. Now we have an exercise which has 2 stories that are mixed up. We need to sort out the sentences and then write it on the lines given to us on the next page. So let us just read the sentences. The first is, we thought the lion had eaten someone. Second, suddenly the kite lifted him off the ground and took him over the treetops. Third, we saw a shoe in the lion's cage. Fourth, finally the kite brought him back to the park. Your sentences continue. The next one was, our class had gone to the zoo. Puran was flying the brand new kite in the park. Some children stood and screamed and some ran to the director of the zoo. Next, Puran was frightened and excited. The lion had not eaten anyone because The shoe was one of the lion's toys. So here you must have understood that there are two stories. One is about a boy called Puran and the other story is about the lion. So now we have to separate both the lines and make a paragraph on both the stories. So now let us do that exercise. So we begin with the magic kite. Why magic kite? Because no kite can lift you up into the sky. So let us choose the sentences from the sentences which we read and complete this paragraph. So we begin. Puran was flying the brand new kite in the park. Suddenly, the kite lifted him off the ground and took him over the treetops. Puran was frightened and excited. Finally, the kite brought him back to the park. I repeat, Puran was flying the brand new kite in the park. Suddenly, the kite lifted him off the ground and took him over the treetops. Puran was frightened and excited. Finally, the kite brought him back to the park. So these are the sentences which we chose and completed this paragraph, the magic kite. Now let's complete the next paragraph which was about the lion. So the title is Who Did the Lion Eat? So let's begin. Our class had gone to the zoo. We saw a shoe in the lion's cage. We thought the lion had eaten someone. Some children stood and screamed, and some ran to the director of the zoo. The lion had not eaten anyone because the shoe was one of the lion's toys. So, again, I repeat, a class had gone to the zoo. We saw a shoe in the lion's cage. We thought the lion had eaten someone. Some children stood and screamed, and some ran to the director of the zoo. The lion had not eaten anyone because the shoe was one of the lion's toys. So these are just imaginary stories that we have just done. So dear children, I hope you have understood all the exercises and all the textual exercises which have place in the text can be completed in the textbook itself. So you need to write this poem Topsy-Turvy once in your notebook, your meanings and question answers very neatly in the notebook. So thank you and have a nice day.